the menu today is beef back ribs. This is by far one of my most favorite things to cook. There's just something about it. I love the flavor. It's very easy. It's kind of satisfying with the ribs and how you have to eat them. Like all the videos, I'm going to show you the steps of prepping, seasoning, and cooking. And I'll fast forward through the stuff that you don't need to sit and watch. For seasoning though, so you're aware, just two things, really simple. Coarse kosher salt and coarse black pepper, or sometimes called a 16 mesh pepper. Let me be clear, if you're like, yeah, I have regular salt and just regular pepper, the ground kind, not gonna cut it. This is very important for this recipe. Same with my brisket, is it needs to be the coarse stuff and preferably more like the 16 mesh. That's gonna make a huge difference on flavor. Oh, we're also gonna be using some beef broth. I forgot to get that out. We'll show you that to you later. Let's jump into prepping the meat and get going. Wanted to zoom in here so you could see this a little bit better. There's really no trimming to be done. I mean, I'll admit there was like one time I saw a huge piece of fat on one of these and I cut it off, but they really don't, you don't have to worry about getting any fat off here. What I do try and get off, just like on baby back ribs, there's usually a tough skin back here and it's super hard to get off. I don't know if there's a science to it, but using paper towels and the knife, I try and get this off because I've noticed that it just tastes better when I do. So I'm going to try and slide my knife under here and see if I can get something going. If not, I'm just going to like put slices in here and break it up as much as I can so the seasoning can get in. So you're going to watch me struggle here for a little bit because I'm no butcher. So I've got this skin off here, and the rest, I don't even know if this is right, but I like to put some slices in here to help break this up. And again, to let the seasoning get on the back side. It just tastes better. Whether it's right or wrong, I think the results are it tastes better when you expose some of that meat a little bit. All right, if you watch my videos, you know I tend to get a little bit more OCD with trimming than I should. So probably trimmed it more than I should, but like I say, I like to get that off. Next is our salt and pepper. Just gonna load this bad boy up. I'm impatient, so I'm patting it down to try and get the juices to come up so I can flip this thing. Last step for now is we're gonna put it on a plate. We're gonna put it in the fridge and let it sit for at least 8 hours. That is critical when it comes to beef. You have to give it plenty of time to suck the seasoning into the meat and then let it go back to the surface. So we're gonna stop here. We're gonna pick this video up in the morning when we put it back in the smoker. But for now, that's it. Well, it's early the next morning. The meat has been in the fridge for, I don't know, 12, maybe more hours. Time to put it on the grill. I always put mine bone side down, just a little easier to manage that way and easier to get my probe in. I'm going to smoke mine at 200 degrees this morning. You can do anything between like 180 and 225, but the goal is we're going to take it up to around 160 and then we'll take it inside and wrap it. Pick it up from there. Well, it's been about 3.5 hours. I ended up cranking up the heat a little bit because today's actually Super Bowl Sunday and I forgot, and I need to hurry because the game's going to start. What I'm looking for here is I want to have a bit of a crust, and I don't want the meat to be too juicy. I'm going to stab here and see what we're getting on the... There's 156, 153, which is good. Somewhere, around 155, there's 160 there. And I do have a bit of a crust, so I've got the smoke that I wanted to, and I've also been able to let some of the real gamey juices fall out of the meat. I'm going to bring these inside. I'll show you what we do in there. Now that we're inside, next few steps are very simple. We're going to put some butter on some tin foil. Not a lot, I just really like the flavor of butter. We'll put the ribs on top. We're going to add the beef broth. Don't want to add too much. I'm just going to use a couple ounces to help put a little bit of juice in there. If you add too much, you can get like a dog food flavor out of your meat. So we want to be careful not to add too much. I'm just going to probably go for a couple ounces and we'll see how that goes. Let's get to it. I'm using a heavy duty tin foil because regular tin foil just won't hold up. Just want to be really careful as you fold things over not to let the bone puncture your tinfoil, because we want to keep all that juice in there. As I wrap this up, I try and push the bottom of the tinfoil up tight. That way it holds the butter and juice up against that. Transfer that to my cookie sheet. So we are meat side down, and I'm going to find a way to slide a probe in there and get into the meat. Now we're going to go into the oven, and I've already got a leak. Fantastic. Dang it. Let's try and fix that real quick. So the leak, there's the mess side of it, which, I hate messes. But the other thing is I want those juices to hold up against the meat while it cooks in there. And we're into the oven. So we're gonna watch these probes. I've got the oven set at 225. We're gonna take this up to internal temp of about 203 degrees. And now we just sit and wait again. Probably gonna plan on another few hours. Hopefully it gets done in time for the big game. We'll resume in a bit. So we've been in the oven for 5 hours now. And I'm about 201 on my meat probe. It's kind of stalling out there, but the game's gonna start soon, so I needed to get it going. I'm gonna pull these out and double check them with another meat probe. Right there, about 200 degrees in most spots, so I like it. Now it's important that you need to let the meat rest at this point. I do want to show you what they look like because the game's gonna start, so there's not gonna be much time for me here. I'm gonna lift this up and let you see just what the finished product is like. There we go. And this thing is falling apart. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to pick it up. Yes. Just love the color. Lots of seasoning. Not a ton of juice, but a little bit so that it didn't get dry. These are going to be delicious. So like I say, after you take it out of the oven, let it rest for at least 30 minutes, if not longer. But once it's done resting, enjoy.